Shift workers die faster, that is unfortunately a fact. They're at higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, mental health issues, and even cancer. Most of this, if not all of it, comes down, however, to one thing: diet. But here's the part no one tells you. Working shifts can actually make you healthier and leaner than a typical 9-to-5 worker, if done correctly. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be breaking down why conventional fitness advice just does not work for shift workers, and I'm going to tell you the best shift eating routine that I found that helped me the most when working nights and working swing shifts. Swinging. Which is now being adapted by people who work with me in my shift proof program and one-to-one clients. And this same diet, this same way of eating is helping people to drop weight, build strength and supercharge their energy. And how do I know this? I worked shifts for nearly 20 years as a delivery driver and then around 10 years as a police officer. And whilst I was working shifts, I got into the best shape of my life. I lifted weights, I wrote over a dozen books and ultra marathons. While my friends who worked the 9-to-5 were struggling to lose weight with their regular eating and their superior sleeping schedules. While they were doing that, I was absolutely crushing life. And this is exactly the method we're going to get into in this video to stop you from gaining weight and feeling like shit all the time. Now, the myth of shift work is that we're doomed. And the reason we're doomed is because you don't have enough willpower and it's frankly all your fault. This, my friends, is absolute bullshit. Millions of people all over the world work shifts, and shift workers just like you are critical to a safe and functioning society. Without people like you, without our emergency service workers, without our nurses, without our taxi drivers, our Amazon delivery drivers, our warehouse workers, the people who are the unsung heroes of society would all frankly be fucked. Why am I still holding this? Conventional dieting doesn't work when it comes to shift work. Such advice like a specific calorie allowance a day, intuitive eating, or trying to flip meal times on their heads just simply don't work when it comes to shift workers, and this is why so many people fail, giving the impression that you are doomed before you even get started. Which is why we have to work with our body and start being adaptive with our approach. In case you can tell, I never made it in art school. During the night, your body works very differently to how it works during the day. And the only way we can fully really control this and combat night shift work is if we were to completely flip our body clock on its head 7 days a week, 365 days a year. In other words, live like a vampire, which, let's face it, nobody really wants to do. So this is why we must come up with a system when working nights and swing shifts that works with our digestion and best maximises our chances of success. Our bodies and our circadian rhythms are linked to the rising and falling of the sun. Remember the sun? That thing outside? It kind of looks like that, except not as smiley and a lot bigger. And what this simply means is during daytime hours, our bodies and metabolism are working better. Liken it to a furnace, for example. So during the day, the fire is hot, our metabolism is working. We throw things on the fire, they burn quickly. However, during the night, when the fire has cooled and it's just hot coals sat there, throwing fuel on it, throwing things on it, it burns, but it burns a lot more slowly and more inefficiently and not completely as fast as we would like. So taking that into consideration, we need to start working with the daylight and with the sunshine and with our bodies. So this is a process which allows me to stay lean, full of energy throughout night shifts. And most diet and fitness advice is designed for people that work 9 to 5, regular meal times, regular work hours, daily calorie allowance. You've heard it all before. You've probably tried it all before. I know I tried it all before and it didn't fucking work. In other words, the lifestyle of a regular, normal 9 to 5 worker is great for that approach. Whereas with the approach I'm about to show you, we factor in our shifts and our days off. And we allow for some additional calories where we want to have a bit of pizza or maybe a couple of beers when we do finish work. Because what we're going to do, instead of focusing on a single day and a single calorie allowance in a day, we're going to broaden that out and we're going to look at how to eat properly on our shifts in order to then have more saved up for later so we can actually enjoy ourselves when we're not in work. So the first thing what we need to do is work out our calories in a single day. Now, say for example, if you're a male, a standard male needs around 2,500 calories every single day. This is to maintain weight. Now, quite naturally, as I'm sure you know by now, if you want to gain weight, you will eat more. If you want to lose weight, you will eat less. The problem is, because we don't work a standard 9 to 5 and have a regular eating schedule and a sleep weight schedule, we have to adapt this. So here's what I suggest what we do. So rather than working in just a single day, why don't we break it up for the whole week? 2,500 calories for one day. Let's times that by 7. I should have figured this out before I start recording this video. Is 17,500. Ignore all that, I went off a bit of a tangent. So this is 17,500 calories. This is of course just an example. And if you are a shift worker and you want more dedicated support, click the link in the description of this video. You can join my 14 ways in 14 days of free shift worker support, where you get all this and much more, or even join my shift proof community, which is also in the description of this video, or scan the QR code on the screen right now. Okay, so 17,500. If we wanted to lose £1 a week, we need to subtract 3,500 from that, which will give us, again, 14,000. So we have 14,000 calories to play with in order to lose £1 a week. Okay, now if we just decided to do, let's do 2,000 calories here, 2k here, 2k here. You know, say we're working Monday to Thursday on nights, we go over on Tuesday, so then do we take it off Friday? Well, what about Saturday or Sunday? Do we eat less on Sunday? But then we're back in work on Monday night, so when do we need to eat? This is why conventional diet doesn't work for shift workers, because of this because of the sleep weight cycle and everything else. So you want to look at your week as a 7-day plan, and you would start your 7 days on your first rest day, because that's where you're going to eat the most food. You're going to want to recuperate, maybe have a drink, maybe have a pizza, etc. So rather than go Monday to Sunday, we're going to go Wednesday to Wednesday. Rest day here, nights, so 14,000 calories a day. Now let's just explore how we can do those. So we're probably going to want to go a little bit overboard on our first day off, because you know you've been sleep deprived, you're probably hungry, you want to let your hair down a little bit, so we'll go for 3,000 that day. The next day, let's just eat at maintenance. Let's just go for 2,000 calories a day on that one, and same as for the next day as well, 2,000 calories a day. So we've had some indulgence here, we've eaten at maintenance here, so we've not over restricted ourselves. So now that's 5,000 calories. We still have 9,000 to play with, and we have 4 days left. All right, so all we do is we just go, you know what, I'm only going to eat 1,000 on these first 3, and then I'm going to indulge a little bit on my last night shift. So you've actually got more, to be honest. So you could even go 1,500 on these 2. By splitting our week up, we are not over consuming on night shifts. We are not over consuming on our rest days. We are being much more measured with our approach. All right, so we planned out our calories for the week. When's the best time to actually eat, and why do we not want to eat so much on night shifts? I'm very glad you asked. When the sun is up, we want to fill up. When you wake up from a night shift, so maybe you're going into your first night shift, you've woken up at maybe 5, 6 o'clock, or you're just going straight through, you want to eat when the sun's up. This is because it will help our metabolism, because like I said about the furnace, when the sun's up, our furnace is working. If you then eat throughout the night, this will be when you start to feel sluggish, you feel bloated, you feel tired. So this is why when we work throughout the night, we want to keep our calories quite low, and we want to eat before we go into work, and maybe take something quite light with you in work, in case you do feel that you want to eat something, so you're not going to the garages or the McDonald's drive-through at 3 in the morning. We want to prepare for success by splitting up our calories throughout the week. We allocate a certain amount of calories, make sure we're eating whole foods and we're eating lean proteins as well when it comes to our meals. This means that we are feeling fuller for longer, more energized, and we are working with our body clock. So when we get up, the sun's up, we eat then. We stop eating throughout the night, or like I said, take a little bit of something with you. On our rest days, you're going to be awake, you're going to be out, you're going to get the sun in your eyes, you're going to restart and look after your metabolism, you're going to start the engine going again, you're going to get back to normal, and the circadian rhythm is going to return back to normal. And this is the kind of thing I do cover in much more detail in my shift proof community, which, like I said, you can get via the link in the description of this video. However, all this is good. Learning about sunlight, metabolism, splitting up your calories, divvying out your calories, etc. All that's really, really good. But frankly, it means nothing if you are so tired and lacking in energy all the time, which is why we need to focus on the next big thing what shift workers struggle with, which is our sleep, and more importantly, how to feel energized throughout the day and not need to survive on caffeine all the time. Which, if you get that right, everything else becomes so much easier, which is why I recommend that you watch this video right now.